Or I should be live. I think I am. Oh, I am. I'm back. Back like I never. Wait, can y'all hear me? Hold on. Yeah, I can hear me. Wait, can y'all hear me? Hello? Yeah, I can hear me. Damn, I'm delayed. Can y'all hear me? Hello? Yeah, I can hear me. I don't know why my background sound like that. Hello? Damn, I'm delayed though. I gotta fix that. I'm gonna just do it off the delay. Figure I'm not restarting. I don't know why my background sound like that though. I gotta fix that as well. Yo, 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 yo. I don't know why my mic sound like that. I gotta fix that as well. I've been on here so long. Yeah, I did ask. Gotta fix that. I gotta work on I gotta retweak my settings. My settings is all messed up. I got a delay. I got a fucking extremely high bit rate. My mic messed up. Or just I got plenty. First of all, I want to give a an update to the channel. That's why it's want to give an update to the channel. Hold on. Currently doing something. Make an update to the channel. As you can see, I recently deleted a lot of videos. Um, one thing I want to do is I'm leaning more towards reviews, comic reviews, NBA talks, and gaming. That's what I'm leaning more towards too for this channel. I'm leaving all that other stuff in the past. I might still do some tier lists. Those been those are my biggest videos. I might still do some tier lists here and there. I don't know why people hate my tier list, but they hate where I rank stuff. They hate my Walker Dead ranking, and they hate my Monopoly Property ranking. And I also got a crazy another story to sell. Image first, like the reprints image be putting out for their older stories. They'd be like image is like number one, but they got image first on the side. I was watching they would not stream. And this is not the streamer's fault because they didn't know nothing about comics. They usually still sell stuff out of storage units. They buy storage units and sell those. But and they didn't know about but they did it. I was only watching because they did an all comic show and they didn't know nothing about comics, so they were just selling the comics. And it was an image first Invincible. The reprints that's extremely cheap. They made extremely cheap for people can get into Invincible again and reread them. And I seen that that issue. It was just that one issue, and they didn't know because they didn't know what Invincible was. And I seen it sell for 475, and I'm like, man, a reprint of like I get Invincible is popping off, and a lot of new comic book readers are getting to Invincible and trying to read it, and they see all this crazy price on Invincible number ones from way back when, so they feel like $400 is a steal. But man, Image First, like I'm gonna see if I can pull it up right now. I wish I took a screenshot of somebody buying. I feel bad for him, low key. People in the chat was telling them that it was an Image First and it was a reprint image. I'm not pulling up on image first. I didn't even spell first right. I'm dumb as shit. Forget. But y'all, I don't need to pull it up, but y'all understand what I'm doing. But it was an image first Invincible, and it was crazy. It was so crazy that it was just selling for that. I was like, whoa. And I also seen the Invincibles go for a lot of Whatnot. Whatnot is a nice place to buy comics if you buy it from a trusted seller and not just anybody. But yeah, Invincible sell for a lot on Whatnot. And it's also one. It was also another story. I was watching a Tom McFarlane stream, and I get it. It's McFarlane. He created Spawn and all the other stuff. But man, do he sign stuff and it just goes way over. Like I get it. It's whether people think how much it's worth and how much they're willing to pay for it, and then they could pay for it that much. But man, bro, the stuff Tom McFarlane be signing, like I seen one thing he signed like a comic book that he only gave to people that was working for him at the time, and it was like 15 people working for him, and he signed it. I could see that selling for a lot. But the regular stuff he be signing and he be selling for thousands, I just don't get it. I understand it's FOMO. They get FOMO in the moment. It's Tom McFarlane, so they buy it not knowing like you could get it for way cheaper. But I wouldn't pay that much, especially not for no sig. I'm sorry, man. I don't get the paying thousands of dollars for a signature. I don't get that. Especially if it's someone who signs stuff all the time. The signature is not really worth that much anymore. Like I'm paying you to draw on my fucking book, bro. Goddamn, thousands. But it's not Tom McFarlane's fault. If I was him, I'd be doing the same thing. They're paying that much for a sig anyway. What else I wanted to say? Oh yeah, this Logan. I'm super late to this, actually. Super late to this. But this Logan Paul stuff, it's actually crazy. First of all, I will say this: it's not Logan. Logan did not start the grading manga thing. I seen someone like a couple months way before Logan talk about grading the volume one of JJK. I don't know why. I mean, I understand grading, which I gotta show some. I gotta show some. I gotta show some. Actually, I have to show some. And I didn't pay that much for this. This was I pay like I can't even remember. Can y'all see it? Yeah, I can. It's a 9.4 Savage Dragon number one. I didn't. How much does it cost to get something graded? I'm gonna look that up right now. If I can find my mouse. How much does it cost to get a comic book graded? And it says between $45 to $100 per book. Gra- Um, depending on the book value, the tier you choose, whether you include extras like pressing, grading, fees alone generally run for $27 to $45 for basic, modern, and vintage books. Grading per y'all can't even see what I'm showing y'all. Hold on. Grading per book 27. Yeah, I pay way less than what it costs to even get this thing graded. Way less. I'm not gonna say the price because I look forgot and I don't feel like looking it up. But I picked this Seven Dragon up. I so I paid like way less what it costs to get this thing graded. But I picked this up. Let me full screen it. I picked this up. I can't fake it. I picked this up for the fashion. I cannot fake it. It's for the fashion. I don't got anything graded. I don't own anything graded. I personally would never get anything graded. That's just not me. I'm not spending you that much money to get my books graded. I got this for less than it cost to get graded, by the way. But I'm not so that's plus the book and the grading cost. And I got it for less than what it costs to get a comic book graded. I picked this up for the fashion though. Because I don't own anything graded. And I was like, I can't. I was like, I gotta get something graded, bro. It's a 9.4 Savage Dragon. I don't remember the price. Oh, I got the price. I just don't feel like looking it for it. But it was for the passion. I could finally. It's one of my like when I started collecting comics. That was one of the things I was like, get a graded something. Even though I don't like to get my stuff graded, because I just don't feel like paying that much for you to grade my shit. It would also get a Walking Dead number one, the original run, the original number one. I got a number one, but it's not the original number one. I want the original number one. That's one of the things, and it was also that 2011, I believe, New 52 Batman run, the number one for that one as well. Those are my three things. I was like, I want some. When I started collecting, I was like, I gotta get those. I got some graded. I knocked that off the list finally. I'm not grading myself, but I picked this up for the passion. It's the flex. I'm giving me I finally got the graded thing. And then I also got, which is crazy. Hold on, let me move that shit. I also got. I don't even know if I could see that. The Boys number one. The Boys number one. Purse printing. The Boys number one first printing. I got this as a buyer's giveaway on Whatnot. So I got this completely for free, which is crazy. Cause I bought, it was a dude I bought my the full run of Kick Ass for, because I wanted to read the full run of Kick Ass. I didn't really like Kick Ass. I like the movie more than I like the comic. That's why I really wanted to read the Kick Ass, because I liked the movie that much, but I didn't really like the comic book that much. But then he did a buyer's giveaway for the first printing of The Boys, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna enter." I can't remember how many people entered it, but if you know Whatnot, there's people out there that can fill forms, because you can't actually run a buyer's giveaway for strictly buyers. I don't do that filling forms bullshit, but people does that. So it was more than whatever, because this is a boy born first printing, and the show is going off at the time. It's still going off too. So I think it's one more episode. And I entered it, and I won, bro. I won the buyer's giveaway. They got shit to me. And I'm not getting this graded. I refuse to get. I'm not gonna pay that money to get this graded. But yeah, that's what I talk about. And I got the boys number one first printing. That was buyer's giveaway from Whatnot. Shout out to you. That was great. Love that. Love that. But I also got. Let me find it. Let me find it. This Mortal Kombat for also Whatnot. It wasn't a buyer's giveaway though. Also from Whatnot. Wasn't a buyer's giveaway. But I got it for cheap. I think it's like I can't remember how much it's going for. Raw. I think it was like $12, $15 raw. And I got it for like five. And I was like, I got this for the collection. I got this for the collection. I waited them ones for the collection. I don't even like the boys comic that much. I thought it was mediocre. I couldn't even finish it. Nah, I never read Mortal Kombat Blood and Thunder. I'm gonna have to read it. I'm not reading that though. That's not getting touched. That's staying bag and boarded. It's not getting touched. I'm not grading it. And my boys number one, fuck up. That's not getting touched either. That's not getting graded either. I'm keeping those bag and board. The boys number one is in a special casing though. Let me close this shit. But yeah, I think it's time for me to talk about this Logan Paul stuff. Now, Logan Paul. First of all, I will say he's not the first person to get manga graded. So I seen he getting a lot of hate for that. Oh, why are you grading manga? Logan Paul's grading manga. He's not the first. That's been happening. It's been happening to the comic community as well, and it's been happening in the manga community. Logan Paul didn't start it, and there's nothing wrong with grading, bro. Grade if you. I personally don't like grading. I mean, not like. I personally won't get nothing graded, but there's nothing wrong with getting stuff graded, bro. If you want to keep something like that in pristine condition without it possibly suffering damages from when you're moving or when you're putting it away, storing it, and something happens. What's the, or something's happening, you want to I've just lost my train of thought. How did I lose my train of thought right there? Oh, I was gonna say, if something happened, you don't want to get damaged. You want something no damages, and that's why people get stuff graded because they want to keep what they love, and they usually have two copies of the same thing. Logan Paul, you don't have two copies of this, but I will say this is Logan Paul's method. He does this every time, and y'all fall for it every time. He he goes into a thing. He wants to make profit of it, obviously, but he wants the market to raise to a crazy amount where he can make a crazy amount of profit. He did it with the Pokemon community. He's trying to do it with the manga community, and he wants people because he knows there's going to be a bunch of people calling him a larper, people hating on him, people talking shit, this, that, and that, making videos, doing all this stuff, just talking, and bringing more buzz around the manga community and the grading community and grading manga and the reselling community, and people want to resell manga because they think it's the price is gonna go up and people are gonna start buying now because Logan Paul is in there, which they are, and he knows he's gonna get a lot of hate from all across the world. It's been happening to him before, but he does this every time, and he generates a lot of hate because he knows there's gonna be a lot of attention to his name, and even though y'all might not do it, he knows there's gonna be us. He knows there's gonna be a dumbass who's willing to buy it for a crazy amount of dollars just to say they own a first appearance of Goku or a first appearance of Luffy and all that other stuff. He knows it's gonna be. It happened to him in Pokemon. He got to sell all his cards before he got out of all that bullshit. Before he got away from all that bullshit, he got to sell all his cards for a crazy amount and make a crazy bag. And now he's doing the same thing with this. He knows people are gonna hate on him, bring hate to his name. There's gonna be somebody who's willing to buy, and it might not be a year from now, it might not be 2 years from now, but a couple years down the line, there's gonna be somebody willing to buy that for a crazy amount. And Logan Paul plan is gonna work again, and he's gonna go to another community, hopefully not the comics. Stay away from them shits. He's gonna go to another community, try and rinse and repeat the same thing. He's gonna keep working because people keep falling for his trick. The the thing to do like this is just to straight up ignore Logan. Don't show him no mind, and it wasn't work. It won't work if you ignore him. Just straight up ignore him. It won't work. Then I want to talk about this as well. This is what I've been waiting to get into though as well. Extremely what I've been waiting to get into. Robert Kirkman makes a bold claim about manga and Image Comics. During the episode where Rob Liefeld, Robert Kirkman became incredibly blah 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 blah. When you look at what Marvel and DC do in the grand scheme of the world, it's actually kind of limited. And he said anything around comic book industry is that generates excitement is going to eventually funnel into Image Comics because if people love manga, they decide to try American comics. Well, manga mostly translate to Image Comics. Kirkman says, and I agree with him 100%. Well, now Marvel and DC they produce other types of stories outside of superheroes, and but they tend to lean more towards the superheroes. That's what they do is more nowadays. That's what they like to do. DC got the absolute thing going. They're cooking with that. I will agree with that. They're cooking with that. Marvel just announced Midnight, which I will talk about that as well. But what they're saying, they're not wrong. Well, I mean, what Robert Kirkman's saying right here is not wrong. And I'll say that because Marvel and DC, they're superhero companies at their best. They produce other stories, but they work better with superheroes. That's their bread and butter. Versus Image Comics, they get to produce anything that the writer and the author, all this other stuff, the artists and all this stuff, to get to produce any type of story they want out of Image. You want to make a story about demons, romance, slice of life, fucking superheroes, a fantasy world, isekai. Like you could do that all with Image Comics. It's just like manga in a way. So he does. So somebody not into who's not into American comics at all and is just into manga will translate easier to Image Comics more than they will translate to DC and Marvel. Now I will say this: there's other kind of like company that's produced stories like this that's outside of Image and outside of DC, like Boom, Oni, all the other stuff. But they're just not widely as known as Image. So a manga fan is easily going to translate the Image because Image is one of the big producers that produce stories like manga. So he's not wrong about that. He's not saying which stories are better or more superior. He's just saying manga fans would translate easier to Image comic fans instead of all the other companies. And I will say even more, Image Comics and what they're doing over there, they're they're doing this. They're learning from anime because manga and anime has been popping off, and they're learning from that, and they're turning their stories into on the big screens. I think Exquisite Corpses is getting a movie, I believe, and I heard rumors. These are just rumors. As I think these are just rumors. I don't know if they're guaranteed yet because haven't done really much research into that. But they're just rumors. I heard Exquisite Corpus is getting a movie, which I still got to drop a video about that. Expect that video coming. I heard Monstrous is getting a show. I don't even know I'm pronouncing that right. I haven't read I should check Monstrous. I don't even know I'm pronouncing that right. I should check that out though. And I heard Sex Criminals or something like that. It's also getting a show on Amazon or Netflix, I believe. So they're turning some of their bigger stories, like and obviously Invincible, all these other stories, but they're turning some of their biggest stories to the big screens, which I would say adds on to what Robert Kirkman was talking about. Manga anime fans would turn to Image comic fans if they want to check out American comics because they're essentially doing what manga is doing. They produce stories like manga, and they're putting it on the big screens. That's one-on-one adaptations that Marvel and DC just doesn't do. They take inspiration from the books, but it's not one-on-one adaptations. So people can't go from a show to the comics from an MCU or a DCU, like they can from, let's say, a Invincible and all the shows that they one-on-one adaptations that they're trying to make right now. So I will say I 100% agree with Robert Kirkman right here, is because he's what he's saying is just a fact. Like, there's nothing more to add to that. And then what else I was going to say? There's not really much to say about that. Oh, I wanted to talk about Absolute Batman. I haven't been keeping up with the story. I got it, bro. Every time, bro, you miss you be like, I can't. Pockets looking a little light this week. This week. I can't pick up an issue right now. I'm reading a ton of other stories. An issue like Absolute Batman is just not on top of my list. And if let it be an issue that's gonna have that push the plot crazy forward and you miss it, it's over, bro. Them resellers are gonna fuck you. Let's say you miss a week and you're like, I try to get it next week, and next week come around and it's an important chapter, important issue for Absolute Batman, and they're gonna fuck you. They're gonna charge you like $30 when cover price is not even when cover price is like $5. I'm like, damn. I seen somebody on Whatnot selling fucking Absolute Batman 20. That shit just came out for like $20. I'm like, that shit just came out. He was like, he's talking about because it wasn't. I think he had one that didn't have spine ticks because a lot of if y'all don't know, a lot of Absolute Batman 20s came with spine ticks, and he was selling it for like 20. I'm like, damn. Just give me the one with the spine tick. Even though I didn't pick it up, I gotta re-jump back into Absolute Batman. I haven't been keeping up with it as of lately. I heard issue 20 was the best issue though, so I forgot what I think I left off at like. I cannot remember what chapter I left off on. Absolute Batman. I'm gonna have to reread the whole fucking I might have to reread the whole story. It's kind of embarrassing. What Absolute Batman did for the comic community is essentially reviving it, and which is crazy. But I was talking about Absolute Batman because I think Absolute Batman needs to be an animated show, one-on-one adaptation. And I know Warner Brothers or because that's what DC is under, right? The show rights and movie rights or whatever. I know right now they're trying to focus on the DCU, but I think they're waiting for Absolute Batman, more chapters where Absolute Batman could get deeper into his run, before they could get like they animate season 1 of Absolute Batman. It ends on a certain arc, on like a certain part, and then they could take like a year and a half, a year or two, and drop a season two right away. I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to have enough source material for, because you don't know, Absolute Batman is not like manga. Some mangas release monthly, but Absolute Batman release monthly, but a lot of mangas release weekly. That's how shows are able to get animated and produced fast and new seasons fast because they got a lot of mangas on weekly releases. Absolute Batman is a monthly release, so that's kind of hard to keep up with if you're trying to make a show and it's not enough issues out. So you gotta animate a show, and then you gotta add filler if you want to keep it up with the times and push them out as fast as possible because that's obviously what you want to do because you want to keep the hype going. And I don't think people want filler in Absolute Batman. So I think that's what because Warner Brothers not stupid. They're listening. They know Absolute Batman is probably the best selling comic book right now, and it's going to keep rising. And people want it animated. They know people have seen it for to get the touch the big screens. They're not dumb, but I think they're waiting for it to get deeper into its run. And I feel like they're doing this with a lot of I feel like they're doing this with a lot of their stories. With a lot of, 'cause I feel like they're going to animate the whole Absolute Batman, a whole Absolute universe. All that is getting animated. I feel like that's what they're planning on doing. But I think they're waiting for a lot of the Absolute stories to either come out and get deep into their run before they start producing the animated shows, where they can have enough source material to produce two, 2 to 3 quick seasons in quick fashion because they want it coming out as fast as possible to keep the hype around DC. But right now, I think they're focusing on the DCU though, which is important because they're trying to keep up with MCU. They're keeping up with Marvel in the comics. Some people say they surpassed them. They're trying to keep up with the MCU. I've seen which I gotta give. I'm about to make an Image Comics video. How Image Comics is becoming the future of comics and trying to surpass Marvel, DC as the head of American comics. Because look at what Image Comics is doing. They're trying to get. I know I'm rambling, but they're trying to get all their big stories into on a big screen. They got games like Invisible Versus, and if that does well, they're probably going to try to produce more games from the stories. And no, that's what the DC did, and that's what Marvel did, and Marvel is trying to do that as well. They got a Wolverine game coming out, which I'm going to play on that on stream, and I feel like, and that will lead me into this next one, if this is the next one, if I'm not dumb as shit. Yeah, it's not the next one. It's I didn't save it, but I didn't save it. Oh, I thought I saved it, but there's been rumors about Injustice 3 and it potentially being the DCKO game, which I think is way better than Injustice. I feel like Injustice is played out like we've seen the Evil Superman, we see how Injustice ended and Brainiac and all that. I feel like that's played out. I feel like that just played out. And DCKO game will bring such more opportunities because Injustice you got to play within the character lines of that. Hold on, let me. Look, you want to find that before I talk about it. Nah, I'll just say fuck it. But I'm just gonna say fuck it. But yeah, I think it should be DCKO before Injustice. Just imagine a DC fighting game with all its characters in a deep roster. Like you know how Spark and Zero. I never actually played Spark and Zero, but you know how they had that deep ass roster with a lot of Dragon Ball characters. Imagine that they did that with DC. I feel like that would fit perfectly for a DCKO. And all the different variants of Superman, Superboy, Superboy Prime. You could choose him, Captain Atom, fucking Martian Manhunter, Cyborg. A lot of Conor McKing, whatever his name is, like a Joker, and then you get the absolute Batman skin. I feel like, and imagine a DCKO storyline traveling like, and then you could get the DLC characters like Vampirella, Red Sonja, like how they did in the comic DCKO boss battle. I'm gonna have to drop a review on that as well. A Red Sonja, Vampirella, Annabelle, I don't know how that Annabelle shit gonna play out though. How tiny she is. She is just a doll. But like, Emperor Joker, imagine seeing the Emperor Joker versus a Batman Who Laughs. I feel like that can only happen with a DCO game, a DCKO game. Just a different movie. I feel like that should be because if you look at what DC is doing as of recently, look at the movies. They restarting the universe with the movies. They got that Superman stuff, and then they glean the Supergirl, and all this other stuff. And they're restarting the universe with the movies. Absolute Batman. I mean not Absolute Batman. The Absolute Universe. It's a freshly new universe. Well, it's not freshly new, but it's a freshly new take on the characters. All this stuff, and that's been popping off for them. So as the movies, and then they started releasing new number ones, like the new Deathstroke number one. I got a review for that coming. The News Antenna number one, and like all this stuff. So DC is trying to produce new stuff. As of recently, I feel like a DC KO game would fit that stuff. I was gonna take time to make, obviously, like any game does. But just imagine a DC fighting game, and it can be a response to the Marvel rivals. Marvel rivals been popping off from Marvel, and DC has been slacking with the video games because Marvel got. Imagine Marvel rivals and Wolverine just hopping off, and it's killing DC in the video game area. So we have to see that, bro. I have to see that. I feel like DCKO would be perfect for a video game, fighting video game. League of Invisible Versus. I haven't played that yet. I still gotta play that, man. Should I buy Invisible Versus? I might buy that and play that. Alright. The Jujutsu Kaisen and Gacha Kuda, I seen first episode of Gacha Kuda, I didn't really like it, but um they they're not a part of Marvel's universe. It's not canon. It's just like it's not canon. They're not part of the Marvel universe. It's just like a reference, like shout out. But yeah, Tokyo Japan and then there's Superman and there's Sukuna right there. And then I guess this is Gacha Kuda and the trash stuff. Not like the story is trash. It's about trash. But I've seen people saying Marvel is desperate. Oh, they're trying to get anime and manga's attention now after shutting them out for years and disrespecting for years. And I would say that is complete other bullshit. Marvel and DC have been not only have Marvel and DC, but manga they have been throwing hidden references around there since forever now. They have been constantly admitting that each one of them has inspired the other. If you look back in the '90s, a lot of people in they were saying they was inspired by manga. You look at a lot of current writers, they say they got inspired by Akira and all those type of stories as well. So they have been anime and manga have been and comics have been being inspired by each other for decades now. So saying, oh, they finally showing them love after sending them all these years and all that, it's just dumb as shit. Because they've been doing this forever. I remember, I seen a video on YouTube. It was Hokuzono, the writer of Kagurabaji. He got when he was in New York, he got invited to see the Marvel Studios headquarters or whatever. And they were showing love to his story. And I like, yo, this is a, and I seen people talking about that. I was like, this has been a thing for, they might have not openly admitted it, but this has been a thing for forever. You can clearly see the inspiration in each other's stories. You could tell from a My Hero Academia, it was inspired by an X-Men and the X-Men and the mutants of X-Men. Like you could tell. You don't have to admit it, but you could tell it was inspired by that. Which I think is a good thing for both forms of media to be inspired by each other because they're so closely entwined with each other that they produce some of the same stuff and they both cultivate a crazy fan base over the years. So that's what all I have to say, bro. Saying Marvel is desperate is dumb. Saying DC is desperate is dumb, especially after Absolute Takeover. And I seen something recently. I can't remember if I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard DC Comics recently just outsold a lot of manga. So saying they're desperate is crazy because Absolute Batman has been in the Absolute Universe has been saving their asses. And in DC, I mean in Marvel, they got this midnight shit that's popping off. Is putting all these. But I'm gonna talk more about. But I seen someone like the Midnight Universe, right? they making like iconic Marvel characters into like this horror theme genre of sorts. Now, I've seen somebody say, "I wish heroes could be just heroes again." Yo, bro, do you know they're still continuing their main hero stories? That's not just getting canceled for midnight. They're still continuing those. They're still gonna get produced. You're still gonna get your Spider-Man story. That's where he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's a hero. You're still gonna get your X-Men stories where they're fighting for justice and injustice and fighting back from injustice and all that stuff. Like you're still gonna get those type of stories. But Marvel, they're doing something new to bring in new readers. They're trying to they're trying to make new readers get into the story. Like, oh, some horror fans who might want to get into superheroes, they could look at this and be like, this is pretty cool. I might want to take out superheroes next. And it could be fun to write to see a twist on iconic characters such as Storm, such as Wolverine, such as Spider Man, such as who else was in this? I forgot who else was in it. Such as the Fantastic Four. Like seeing a twist like this is what Marvel and DC have been making for years, and I feel like they're finally. And I feel like that was some of their best, like some of their best, like what if stories because they're so fun to tell. Like Elseworld stories like this. I don't even know if this is gonna be Elseworld. This might just be like a whole line of itself, like kind of like a absolute line or the Ultimates line. But saying you wish heroes could be just heroes when the absolute universe, yes, a dark twist on characters, but there's still heroes in there. Wonder Woman's still doing Wonder Woman things. Batman is still fighting for Gotham. Superman, I don't read Absolute Superman, so I don't really know, or Absolute Flash, so I don't really know what they're doing in those, or Absolute Martian Manhunter. But I'm pretty sure there's still heroes in there. In their own stories. It's just a darker, twisted version. And I feel like the absolute universe fits with the times. Back then, seeing Superman and the Batman and what they're representing and what they're fighting against for its times is what made them characters popular. So seeing them change with the times and they're fighting for the stuff that you will see people try to fight for nowadays makes is a huge reason why the absolute line is so successful. It's because it's changing with the times, and there's still heroes. Now, I don't know nothing about Midnight. It seems like it's focusing more on horror, so they might not be heroes in this shit, which is good. Which is an iconic twist. I mean, it was a twist on iconic characters, but I think it's a good thing, and it can bring in a bunch of new readers, which which would be amazing for Marvel and DC. Hey, I hope and update the channel. Expect to see more NBA talks. Expect to see more comic talks. Expect to see more live stream. I'm trying to stream every other day now. Expect to see more of that, man. I'm back for good this time. I know every other time I say I'm back, but this is supposed to be just a short stream, 30 minutes. I went over, but I'm back for good this time. And trust me, all my streams are gonna be longer after this one though. I just because I switched over to Streamlabs because my OBS was tweaking, so I used the stream as like a test stream.